The kitchen smelled like burnt toast and stale coffee, the pot still crusty from yesterday. I was at the counter, slicing tomatoes for a sandwich, trying to keep my Sunday morning calm. Emily stormed in, phone in hand, scrolling with that annoyed little huff she'd turned into an art form. She didn't look at me, just leaned against the fridge, her thumb flicking through her screen. God, Tom, can't you just order takeout like a normal person? Why are you always so slow at this? I stopped mid-slice, the knife steady in my hand. Her words weren't about the sandwich, they were about me. That tone, like I was some intern who'd botched her coffee order. Normal, huh? I said, keeping my eyes on the tomato. You mean like you, spending an hour picking filters for a smoothie pick nobody's gonna like. She smirked, finally glancing up. At least I'm not playing house husband with a vegetable. You're so predictable. That word hit like a jab. Predictable. Like I was a vending machine she could kick when it didn't spit out what she wanted. I set the knife down, wiped my hands on a dish towel, slow and deliberate. If predictable means keeping the mortgage paid, I'll take it. You want unpredictable, try missing a paycheck. Her smirk faded, but she didn't back down. Oh, please. You act like you're the only one who works. My job's just as demanding. Your job, I said, turning to face her. The one where you consult from the couch? Must be exhausting, all that scrolling. Her eyes narrowed, but she didn't miss a beat. Maybe if you cared about more than your toolbox, I wouldn't have to entertain myself. Entertain yourself? I said, stepping closer. I'm not your cruise director, Em. You want excitement? Book a trip. I'm not your ticket. She opened her mouth, then snapped it shut, grabbing her phone like it was a lifeline. Whatever, Tom. Keep playing Mr. Practical. She walked out, leaving the air heavy with her perfume and her attitude. I stood there, staring at the half-cut tomato, juice pooling on the cutting board. Something was off, not just today, but for months. The way she talked, like I was a prop in her one-woman show. I'd been trying to hold us together, thinking it was stress, her job, the house, whatever. But that smirk? It wasn't annoyance. It was dismissal, like I was a line item she could cross out. If I'd known what she'd pull later, I'd have started packing right then. I thought it was a rough patch. I was dead wrong. I headed to the garage, my one place to think straight. Tools hung neatly on the pegboard, everything in its place. I was rebuilding a carburetor for a neighbor's old Ford, the kind of work that keeps your hands busy and your head clear. The door creaked, and Mike, my buddy from down the street, poked his head in. Big guy, ex-Marine, talks like he's still barking orders. Yo, Tom, hiding from the queen again? I chuckled, didn't look up from the carburetor. She's in a mood. Figured I'd let her stew. Mike grabbed a beer from the mini fridge, popped it open with a hiss. She's always in a mood, man. You ever think she's poking you on purpose? Seeing how much you'll take before you snap? I tightened a bolt, considered it. Maybe, but I'm not her punching bag. She wants to play games, she'll find out I don't. Mike leaned against the workbench, scratching his beard. Look, I've been there. Ex used to pull that crap, little jabs, make you feel small. You don't set a line. She'll keep pushing till you're sleeping on the couch, apologizing for breathing. Apologizing's not my style, I said, wiping my hands. She pushes, I push back. Simple. He raised his beer, grinning. That's the spirit. Just don't let her wear you down. Starts small, ends with you questioning your own name. I didn't answer, just kept working. Mike's word stuck, though. Testing. That's what it felt like. Not a fight. Not even a real argument. Just a slow, deliberate squeeze. Like she was turning up the pressure to see when I'd crack. I made my first move that night. Nothing loud, nothing dramatic. I just stopped asking her what she wanted for dinner. For years, it was our thing. I'd cook, she'd pick. Not anymore. I grilled a ribeye, rare, the way I like it, the sizzle filling the kitchen. When she came to the table, she stared at the plate like I'd served her attire. You didn't ask me, she said, arms crossed, voice sharp. Didn't need to, I said, cutting into the steak. You're a grown woman. Pick your own food. Her lips tightened. So that's how it's gonna be? You just decide now. I decided I'm done guessing what'll make you happy, I said, meeting her eyes. You want something else? Fridge is right there. She stepped closer, voice low, like she was laying a trap. You're acting like I'm the problem here. Maybe if you weren't so stuck in your routine, I wouldn't have to push. Push, I said, setting my fork down. You're not pushing him. You're poking. And I'm not a piñata. She scoffed, grabbed a yogurt from the fridge, and slammed the door hard enough to rattle the bottles inside. "You're impossible," she muttered, sitting across from me, peeling the foil off her yogurt like it was a personal offense. "Likewise," I said, taking a bite of my steak. "Enjoy your yogurt." She didn't respond, just ate in silence, her spoon scraping the container. It wasn't about the steak. It was about the signal. "I'm not chasing your approval anymore." I could see the wheels turning in her head, calculating her next move. She wasn't done. A week later, we're at the Cooper's barbecue, our neighbors down the block. Nice folks, mid-50s, always hosting. The backyard's alive, kids chasing each other, burgers sizzling, Springsteen blaring from a Bluetooth speaker. I'm talking to Dave Cooper about his new Weber grill, the kind with all the bells and whistles. Emily slides up, wine glass in hand, that fake sweet smile plastered on her face. "Tom's been tinkering in the garage again," she says to Dave, loud enough for the group to hear. "Thinks he's Bob Vila, but I'm still waiting for him to fix the leaky faucet in the bathroom." The circle laughs. Dave, his buddy Steve, a couple of neighbors. But it's that awkward, pitying chuckle, the kind you get when someone's being a jerk and nobody wants to call it out. I feel the heat in my neck, but I keep my face neutral. "Funny," I say, locking eyes with her. "I'm still waiting for you to stop whining about a faucet you never use." Dave coughs, tries to pivot back to grill talk. "So, this thing's got a sear burner. Gets up to 800 degrees. Emily cuts him off, sipping her wine, stepping closer to me. "Oh, come on, Tom, don't be so sensitive. It's just a joke. And you don't have to air your gripes like it's a reality show," I shoot back, keeping my voice low but firm. "You got a problem, say it at home. Not here." Lisa, Dave's wife, steps over, holding a tray of sliders. "Everything okay?" she asks, her eyes flicking between us. She's sharp, doesn't miss much. "Just peachy," I say, not breaking eye contact with Emily. "Right, Em?" Emily's smile doesn't budge, but her eyes narrow. "He's just being dramatic," she says to Lisa, like I'm not standing there. "You know how men get when you bruise their ego." Lisa raises an eyebrow, sets the tray down. "Sounds like you're the one bruising him. Maybe ease up." I nod at Lisa, appreciating the backup. Emily's grip on her glass tightens, but she turns to chat with Steve, acting like nothing happened. I excuse myself, grab a beer from the cooler, and step away to make a call. My cousin, Pete, runs a plumbing business. I tell him to come by tomorrow, fix the faucet, and send me the bill. I'm not letting her turn a drip into a weapon again. When I get back, Emily's laughing with Lisa, playing the perfect guest. But I see it now. She's not just poking, she's carving, trying to make me smaller in front of everyone. Dave pulls me aside as I grab a burger. "She's got a sharp tongue," he says, keeping his voice low. "You good?" "I'm fine," I say, cracking open my beer. "She's the one who's gonna need to figure it out." I don't say another word to her that night. When we get home, I head to the guest room. Shut the door. No explanation, no argument, just a line drawn. The next morning, I'm up early, making coffee. The kitchen's quiet, the faucet still dripping faintly. Emily comes downstairs, hair in a messy bun, looking like she's ready for round two. "You're really sleeping in there now?" she asks, pointing at the guest room. "Yup," I say, pouring my coffee. "Better view." She scoffs, crossing her arms. "You're so dramatic." "What? You're punishing me for a joke." "Not punishing," I say, leaning against the counter. "Just done with the audience. You want to take shots, do it here, not at a barbecue." Her face twists, like she's searching for a weak spot. "You're blowing this out of proportion. It was a faucet, Tom. A faucet." "It's not the faucet," I say, voice flat. "It's you thinking you can make me look like an idiot, and I'll just eat it." She steps closer, voice dripping with fake concern. "Maybe if you weren't so obsessed with your garage, you'd notice I'm trying to keep this marriage alive." "Alive?" I say, setting my mug down. "You're not keeping anything alive. You're rewriting the rules, so it's all about you." I'm done playing. She opens her mouth, then snaps it shut, grabbing her phone and storming out of the kitchen. I grab my keys, head to work. Pete's coming at noon to fix the faucet. I don't tell her. Let her figure it out when it's done. Work's my refuge. I manage a warehouse for a logistics company. Good crew, no drama. My assistant manager, Carla, is sharp, always busting my chops about my coffee addiction. That day, she catches me staring at my phone, No messages. Trouble in paradise? She asks, tossing a clipboard on my desk. Paradise got foreclosed, I say, smirking. Just navigating. She leans against the doorframe, arms crossed. You need to vent, I'm here. But you look like you've got a plan. Working on it, I say. I don't need pity. I need focus. By lunch, I've got one. Emily's been dipping into our joint account for her projects, online courses, yoga retreats, whatever she's chasing this month. I'm done bankrolling her whims while she chips away at me. I call the bank, set up a separate account, and move half our savings. Not to hide it, just to draw a line. My money, my rules. That evening, we're at a community fundraiser, a local thing for the fire department. Emily loves these events. Chance to play the perfect wife, network with the town's big shots. I'm there because I always show up, it's what you do. But I'm not playing her game tonight. She's chatting with the mayor's wife, all smiles, when I overhear her tell someone, "Oh, Tom's just here for the free food. He's not big on community spirit." I'm standing a few feet away, holding a soda, talking to Greg, Emily's sister's husband. Greg's a mechanic, quiet but sharp, doesn't miss much. I catch his eye, and he shakes his head slightly, like he's saying, "Here we go again." I step over to Emily, keep my voice calm but clear. "If I'm just here for the food, maybe I should head out. You seem to have this covered." She laughs, like it's a joke, but it's forced. "Oh, Tom, don't be silly. I'm just saying you're not exactly Mr. Social." The mayor's wife, Karen, looks uncomfortable, glancing between us. "He's here, isn't he?" she says, trying to lighten the mood. "That's more than most." "Exactly," I say, nodding to Karen. "But since I'm not up to Emily's standards, I'll save my appetite for home." I set my soda down on a table, nod to Greg, and walk out. Emily doesn't follow, but I hear her laugh again, louder, like she's covering. Greg catches up in the parking lot. "She's pushing too far," he says, hands in his pockets. "You didn't have to take that." "Didn't take it," I say. "Just not sticking around for round two." He nods, doesn't push. I drive home. Cancel our joint RSVP for the next town event, a charity gala we'd planned to attend. I text the organizer, say I'm out. No explanation. Emily can go alone if she wants. I'm done being her prop. The next night, we're at a diner with Rachel, Emily's sister, and Greg. Rachel's loud, always stirring the pot, but Greg's solid, sees more than he says. Emily's in rare form, dropping jabs about my obsession with the garage, my boring job. I let it slide until she says, "You know, Tom's so practical. Not like my ex, Brian. He had big dreams. Always chasing something." I freeze, fork halfway to my mouth. Rachel laughs, a sharp, "Oh, snap." Greg shifts in his seat, uncomfortable. Emily's watching me, waiting for a reaction. I set the fork down, lean back. "Funny you mention Brian," I say, voice calm but loud enough for the table. "Last I checked, he's still chasing his own tail. You missed that, Em." Her smile falters. "I'm just saying, he had ambition." "And I've got a paycheck," I say, locking eyes. "Which one's keeping the lights on?" Rachel jumps in, smirking. "Oh, come on, Em, don't drag Brian into this. He was a mess." Emily shoots her a look. At least he had a vision. Tom's happy just existing. Greg clears his throat, finally speaking. "Existing's what pays for this dinner, Em. Maybe give it a rest." I nod at Greg, appreciating the backup. Emily's jaw tightens, but she switches to small talk with Rachel. "I'm done. Next time you want to reminisce," I say, standing. "Do it without me." I drop a 20 on the table, walk out. Greg catches up in the parking lot. "She's out of line," he says. "You good?" I'm done being her punching bag. I say, "That's all you need to know." I drive to a motel, check in for the night. No drama, no note. Just gone. I stay at the motel for 3 days, working, keeping my head down. Emily's blowing up my phone. Texts, not calls. "Where are you? This is ridiculous. You're acting like a child." I don't respond. No second ask. She knows the line. On day 4, I go back to the house to grab clothes. She's in the living room, arms crossed, like a judge waiting to sentence me. "You think this is cute?" she starts. "Running off, not answering? What's your plan, Tom?" "My plan," I say, folding a shirt, "is to not live with someone who thinks I'm a consolation prize." Her eyes flash. "You're twisting this." "I never said that." You didn't have to, I say. Every dig, every comparison. I'm done auditioning for you. She steps closer, voice low, dripping with fake concern. You're making this about you, but I'm the one stuck in this marriage. You're checked out, Tom. You're not even trying. I laugh, short and sharp. Trying? I've been carrying us for years. You want more? Go find it. I'm not your project manager. She switches gears, softening her tone. You're really going to throw away 10 years over a few comments? Not throwing away, I say, zipping my bag. Walking away. There's a difference. She grabs my arm, not hard, just enough to make a point. You're overreacting. We can fix this. I pull my arm free, look her in the eye. You don't fix what you keep breaking. I'm done. I leave before she can respond. That night, I meet Mike at a bar. He's been through it. Divorced, 2 kids, knows the game. She's playing you, he says, sliding me a beer. Keep it tight. Don't let her drag you back. She won't, I say. I'm already halfway out. Mike leans forward. I serious. You sure? She's got that way of making you doubt yourself. Seen it. You gotta stay cold, man. Cold's my middle name, I say, clinking my bottle against his. But he's right. She's good at twisting things. I'm not falling for it. The next week, we're at a work dinner at Carla's house. Team thing, casual, just the warehouse crew and their spouses. I almost skip it, but I go. I'm not hiding. Emily's on her best behavior, smiling, chatting with Carla's husband, Dan, a nerdy IT guy who's too nice for his own good. She's playing the perfect wife, but I see the cracks. Too loud, too performative, like she's auditioning for an Oscar. Halfway through, she leans over, whispers to me. You could at least pretend to have fun. You're embarrassing me. I set my beer down, look at her. Embarrassing you? That's rich. Coming from the woman who trashes me at every party. Carla overhears. Raises an eyebrow. Trouble in paradise? She asks, half joking, but her eyes are sharp. Same old, I say, keeping it light. Em's just got high standards for fun. Emily laughs, but it's tight. He's just grumpy because he's married to his job. Dan jumps in, trying to defuse. Hey, Tom's the backbone of the warehouse. That's worth something. Worth what? Emily says, her smile cutting. Another night in the garage. Carla sets her wine down, leans forward. Sounds like you're the one with the problem, Em. Tom's out here keeping things running. Maybe give him some credit. I nod at Carla, appreciating the call-out. Emily's jaw tightens, but she switches to small talk with Dan. I'm done. I'm cutting out early, I say, standing. Early shift tomorrow. Thanks for the invite, Carla. Don't be a stranger, Carla says, giving me a look that says she gets it. I walk out, drive to the motel. I'm not going back tonight. Emily can play her games with someone else. The final straw comes at her parents' house, a Sunday dinner with the whole family. Big oak table, her mom's pot roast, everyone acting like it's a Hallmark movie. I'm there to keep the peace, but I'm on edge. Emily's been quiet since the work dinner, but I know she's not done. She's just waiting for her moment. Halfway through the meal, she drops it. You know, she says, loud enough for everyone to hear. Brian always knew how to get what he wanted. I should have stayed with him. The table goes dead silent. Her mom, Ellen, stares at her plate, fork frozen. Her dad, Jim, clears his throat, looking anywhere but at me. Rachel gasps, then tries to cover it with a cough. Greg's looking at me, waiting. I set my glass down, slow, deliberate. Then call him, I say, standing. When you need money, he's your guy. Rachel tries to laugh it off. Come on, that's not fair. Not fair. Emily snaps, turning on her. You think it's fair I'm stuck with someone who's fine just coasting? Ellen finally speaks, voice quiet. Emily, that's enough. Tom's a good man. Good's not enough, Emily says, her eyes on me, daring me to react. I don't take the bait. You're right, I say, voice calm. Good's not enough for you. So go find better. I nod to Jim, who's still silent, and walk out. Jim catches me on the porch. Tom, she's stressed. She didn't mean it. She meant it. I say, keys in hand. And I'm done. He sighs, doesn't argue. You're a good man. I hate this. I'm not here to be good, I say. I'm here to be respected. The next day, I hire a lawyer. No yelling, no threats. Just papers drawn up, clean and simple. I move my stuff to a rental, a 1-bedroom near the warehouse. Emily tries calling, Leaves voicemails about talking it out. I don't answer. No second ask. She had her shot. A week later, we meet at a coffee shop to sign the papers. She's dressed up, like she's trying to sell me something. "You're really doing this," she says, stirring her latte. "You're throwing everything away." "You threw it," I say, sliding the papers across. "I'm just cleaning up." She tries one last play, voice soft. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I needed more." "Then go get it," I say. "But not with me." She signs, her hand shaking. I don't feel triumph, just relief. I walk out, the air crisp, my steps lighter. 6 months later, I'm in my apartment, grilling burgers on a small balcony. Mike's over, talking about his kid's soccer game. Carla and Dan swing by with a six-pack, Dan joking about my bachelor pad. The warehouse is running like a well-oiled machine, and I'm restoring an old Mustang in my spare time. Emily's name comes up once, when Mike asks if I've heard from her. "Nope," I say, flipping a burger. "And I'm good with that." Carla raises her glass. "To new starts." "New starts," I say, clinking my bottle against hers. Life's not perfect, but it's mine. No games, no tests. Just me, my work, my people. And nobody telling me I'm not enough.